Hello and welcome to High Voltages. In the previous video, we see how we can create a circuit in Wokwi to simulate our IoT projects, and we learned how we can publish and subscribe MQTT messages using ESP32, and we visualize the data on the dashboard that we created in the nodered. In the previous video, I didn't go in the details of how I created the dashboard, but in this video, I'm going to show how we can create the similar dashboard in nodered. So in this video we will discuss how to use MQTT in Node-RED, how to create dashboard, how to log data to the CSV files. So before starting, let's discuss what is Node-RED. Node-RED is an open source visual programming tool that simplifies the development of IoT applications. It provides a browser-based interface that allows users to create flows by connecting nodes, and in this video that's what we are going to do. We are going to use the MQTT functionality in Node-RED and use the data that is coming through MQTT and visualize it in the dashboard. All the codes and the functions that we are going to write, or the complete tutorial in the written form, will be available in the highvoltages.co website, and I will put the link in the description. So before starting, make sure to like, subscribe and share. First thing that we will do is to install the Node-RED. To install the Node-RED, we will go to this URL nodered.org/talks/getting started, and here you will find instructions to install Node-RED in different platforms such as Raspberry Pi, Docker, Android, etc. But since we are using Windows system, we are planning to use it locally. We will go to this URL, and here you see the prerequisites that we will need a supported version of Node.js. And since we are using Windows, we will go to this URL here. So first thing that we need to do is we will have to install the Node.js. To do that, we will go to this URL, and from here we can install the latest version of Node.js. Make sure after installation that Node.js and npm has been added to your path. And since I have already installed the Node.js, I will open the PowerShell window and verify it using this command, which will tell us the node and npm version. So you see we have the 18.16.1 node version and 9.5.1 npm version. It verifies that we have the node.js in our system. Then we will copy this URL and we will paste it here to install the Node-RED. It will take some time, and once the installation has been completed, we will write Node-RED. So you will see various messages on the PowerShell window, and you can see server now running at this URL. So we will copy this URL and we will paste it in our browser. So you will see this flow which we created for last video, and this flow was responsible for creating the dashboard. Let me show you the dashboard. So we will remove this and we will add /UI to the URL, and you will see different gauges and buttons to control the ESP32. Since ESP32 is not connected at the moment, so it looks empty. So we will go back, and now we will be working on another flow. So this empty window, this is called the flow, and these on the left hand side we have these different nodes. So there are different nodes for different purposes. So firstly we will do a hello world example in the Node-RED. So firstly I will drag and drop this inject node, which is the input node as well, and to show the messages I will drag and drop this debug node. So and I will connect these two nodes. Since this inject node shows the timestamp, so once I will click it, I will be able to see the timestamp in the debug window. So I will click this and you will see a warning, node has undeployed changes. It is necessary to deploy after any change you made. So once we have deployed, now let's try running it again. You will be able to see the timestamp in the debug window. So you can access the debug window from here. Now let's double click on this inject node and you will be able to see some properties that you can change. So let's write the name input, and we will change it to string, and in the string we will write hello world. I will press done. and then we will have to deploy. Once deployed, click here and you will see hello world message. Now we will need to install some palettes to use the dashboard functionalities. Palettes are the connection of nodes. For example, here you see function palette which includes different functions. So similarly we need a palette for using the dashboard nodes. We will have to click on this hamburger button and we have to go on this option manage palette, and we will have to go to this install function, and here we have to search node red contrib open. We will need this palette. We will click on install. Since I have already installed it, I am not seeing option for installation, but you will see the option here and you can click on install here. Similarly, we will need the node-RED dashboard. So this is the palette that we will need, and you will have to click install here to install that. So once you have done installing, you can click on close, and now when you will look at your nodes, you will find a dashboard palette here with different functions. So first thing that we are going to create is to create a dashboard. So I will delete all of this, click on deploy, confirm, and then I will drag and drop gauges, then I will need chart, then I will need buttons, right? So I will rename this gauge to temperature gauge, and group is we will have to define all the elements of our dashboard in a group. So I will create a new group. I will call it our dashboard, and I will add it to home tab, and then I will update this and click on done. Here I will select the hour dashboard and rename it to humidity gauge. Similarly here I will change the label to temperature chart and group our dashboard, and label is humidity chart. Then button I will call it temperature logs, and this one is humidity logs. Okay, once you have renamed, you can click on deploy and it will be deployed. So now I will go to UI and you will see the our dashboard that we have created. This is the humidity gauge, this is the temperature gauge, then we have temperature chart, humidity chart, temperature logs, and humidity logs button. We will rearrange them later, so I'll go back, and similarly I will add few more blocks. So I will add this switch and I will call it LED. Then I will get this slider and I will call it servo, and I can change it from minimum 0 to 180 degree, and step is 1. I will click on done, and then I will select this color picker and I will call it neo pixel color picker. And yes, I think I forgot to change the group of the previous one, so I will change the group of these as well. Okay, then I will deploy this, and if I will go to UI now, you will see this is the switch for LED. This is the color picker that we'll be using for T2 NeoPixel LED, and we will be changing color from here. And this is for servo motor, and the previous, and these are the humidity and temperature gauge. So the basic layout of the dashboard is ready. So to rearrange the these elements, we will go back to the flow and we will click here on this, and we will go to view and we will click on dashboard. So here you will be able to change that. So for example, I would like to pull this temperature gauge at the top. I will deploy it, and if I'll go back to the UI, so you will see temperature gauge and humidity gauge, temperature chart, humidity chart, or you can go or do it this way, deploy. See, temperature gauge, temperature logs, and okay. Now we will change few properties of these elements. So for example, for the temperature gauge, we will change the units to degrees Celsius, and we can set the minimum value to -20 to 60 degrees Celsius. So now our temperature gauge will only show the values between -20 to 60 degrees Celsius. Then done. Similarly for humidity, units should be percentage 0 to 100 and done. For LED, we will change it to string, and here we will write on off payload string. Here we will write off, and we will press done. And for the servo motor, we have already changed the minimum range to 0 and maximum to 180, and we will press done. And then for the NeoPixel color, we have already changed the label and changed the format. We will change the format to RGB. That's it. So we have already added the properties of these gauges. Let's see what difference it has made. So now you can see we are seeing the units here, and this is from 0 to 180. Now we are going to use the MQTT nodes in our user interface. So the MQTT nodes can be found in the network palette, and we have MQTT in and MQTT out. MQTT in is more like subscribing to a topic, and once you receive a message on that topic, this node will be triggered, and MQTT out is for publishing the messages. So firstly we will use the MQTT out function, and we will connect it to the LED, and we see this warning here, so we'll click on this, and we have already set up our MQTT broker, which is the public MQTT broker. If you haven't, you can click on add new MQTT broker, and you can write the server protocol client ID, and for security username, password and everything. You can configure your MQTT broker here. Since I have already done that, I will select this broker hype MQ. In the topics, I will write lights. Quality of service should be 1, and I will click on done. So you see this has been disappeared. I will click on deploy, and you should see a message here in PowerShell that you are connected to MQTT broker. Now let's check if we are able to send MQTT messages from our dashboard. So I'll go to UI, and this is the LED button, and I will open the Wokwi project that we created. I will run this as well. Now let's click on LED, and you see the LED is turned on. Now let's work on the other functionalities. So similarly we will click send this MQTT out for NeoPixel and for servo. I will connect the servo, and I will change the topic to servo, quality of service 1, and done. And for NeoPixel, we will change the topic to lights, NeoPixel, quality of service 1, and we will connect these two. We will deploy this. We will go to UI, and we will run this. So as you can see the servo, let's move it. You see the servo is moving. Let's try the NeoPixel. Let's change the color to red. NeoPixel returns the data in the RGB form, and ESP32 expects the data in RGB form. I mean, we have to change the format. So what we are going to do is we are going to delete this, and we will add a function here between these two nodes, and we will edit the function. We will double click the function, and we can call it parse RGB values, and we will paste this. So what this function is doing, it is getting the values in the form of RGB, and it is converting to RGB. So it is just removing this and this bracket. So we'll click on done. We will click connect it to this, and now we'll deploy this. We'll go back to UI, and here, okay, now let's try. Okay, now you see the colors are matching. See, that's it. Now we will try to receive the data from ESP32. So I will stop this for now and go back. So this is our flow. So to receive the data, we will need the MQTT in function. We are going to subscribe to a desired topic and wait for the message. And once the message is received, it returns the message. ESP32 will be sending data on temp topic as we have defined it here, temp data, and it will send the data in the comma separated values. So what we are going to do is we are going to receive that data, and for now I will show it in the form of debug to show how we are receiving the data. And here the topic is temp data. We will deploy, we'll go to debug and run this. So let's wait, and you see we are receiving the values in the comma separated values. So what we are going to do is we are going to separate these two values and send them to their respective gauges. So for that I'm going to remove this. I'm going to add a function, and I'm going to add another function. For I will call this extract temperature, and I will call this extract humidity. Okay, so for temperature I'm going to use this function. So what it is doing is it is reading the payload, and then it is removing any white spaces, and then it is splitting it using the comma as a delimiter, and then it is converting the values in a float, and it is returning the first value. So we will click on done, and similarly we will need a function for extracting the humidity, and we will paste it like this. It is, the function is similar, the only change is this, it is returning the second value, which is the first index of the values. So we will click on done, and we will connect these two with this, and now we will send this value to the temperature gauge and temperature chart, and the humidity we will send it to humidity gauge and humidity chart. We will deploy it to see the changes. I'll click on UI. So you see the temperature here and the humidity is here. So let's try to change the temperature to, let's say, 39, humidity to 39, and you see the charts and the gauges are functional now. Now we'll go back. Next what we are going to do is we are going to log MQTT data to a CSV file, and to do that we will drag down and we will get this node write file, and in the write file we will set the path of the file. So let's get the path. So I have path, I have created a folder, and here I will create a file datalog.csv. I will click on done, and now we will get the data and write it to the CSV file. So if I will connect it directly to the file, it will start logging data, but we would like to add the timestamp. So we will add a function here, and we will call it add timestamp, and in the function we will paste this. We are doing in this function is we are getting the data using the date function, and we are converting it to the ISO string, and then we are adding it to the value which is coming from the MQTT message. We will click on done, and we will connect it to this, and from here we will click it to there, and now we will click on deploy. Let's see if we are getting some data. We'll go to UI, and yes, so we have gets few values. So now let's try to open the file. So you see this file has been created. Let's open it. So you see now we are getting some data here, and with the date and time. I will close this, and that's it. So let's give it a try. I will run this. So you see the temp, let's change the temperature. 32, humidity 74. Let's see if it changes here. Yes, it has been changed and the temperature chart is working as well. Now let's try to see if we are able to turn on the LED. Yes, it's working, and let's change the angle of servo. It works. Let's change the neopixel color. It works. So yes, that's it. Thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe for more such videos.